L says, you're not very specific. What specifically do you do to sustain yourselves? I said, we're self-reliant, live within our means, and have various sources of income. Well, some people didn't like that. J says, what are your sources of income? We all know we need sources of income. Reference debt. I owe on my student loan, but I can't make payments till I have more income. The underarming is the limitation. Getting a job with ageism and not getting remote work. I'm not bothered by my debt, but I do have the intention and goal of gradually paying it off. I'd like to know your income sources. I replied, hello, I don't share our sources of income. It's really no one's business. They're fairly typical, but no stock market. Have you visited our website? I put in a little plug for the website there, rebelretirement.com. It will help you understand our philosophy on life and retirement. D says, not very nice. Your response was insulting and it really bothered me. Why make videos about retirement when you refuse to share details of what worked for you? Oh, maybe because you're trying to earn income from YouTube videos. If that's the case, then share those details. D says, her response to you wasn't nice, in my opinion. I am preparing for retirement by developing land and putting a used mobile home on it. I have a well and septic. My electric is around $60 a month. I have zero debt. I live frugally and have very low standards for what makes me happy. I rejected society's norms and accepted a modest lifestyle. I'm not trying to make money on YouTube, just sharing my strategy in hopes it helps you. I replied, hi, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. Aside from some specific monetary details, I've shared what has worked well for us. But of course, you wouldn't get the full picture just from watching one video. I've talked about our lifestyle choices, how we've stayed debt-free, our monthly expenses, and more. My videos come from personal experience, what we value, how we've lived, and when we decided to claim Social Security benefits and why. Everyone is different, and my goal is to share a range of possibilities. Yes, I do earn some income from YouTube videos. Thanks again for your comment. I really appreciate it. It gives me a better perspective of what my viewers want to know. So, yeah, I get a lot of, actually, it's not a lot of questions about my income. I think most people that watch this channel and follow this channel know that it's not so much about your income because everybody's income is different and everybody's values are different. What people expect out of retirement is different. So, for example, if I were to say, okay, we collect Social Security and live off of Social Security and an additional $4,000 a month. Let's say I said that to you. Somebody out there might say, well, I don't need that much money. And another person might say, what are you, crazy? I couldn't live on that. So this is why I cannot specifically share what my income is, because what makes us happy, what we value, what we need, what how we're willing to live, the freedom that we experience based on how we live may not be and may not suit you at all. So I don't think that I can give you X amount of dollars because I just don't see how that flies with everybody. Because everybody has a personal choice. Some people want to travel. Some people are willing to stay home. Then again, we have different transitional periods of retirement. What might work for you in your 60s may not work in your 70s or your 80s. Now, what I do say is I really cannot agree with this hoarding money saving for years and years for some unknown future in your 80s, planning for going to a retirement home, a nursing home, or for poor health and all of those kind of things that may or may not occur. So everybody's different. And in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I have shared a lot about how we have gone about this. And so much of it is mindset and what we want out of life, what we've wanted out of life. I've told people that we live debt free, that my husband has had part-time jobs. And yeah, I'm on YouTube. Trying to make some extra money in retirement. Yes, we collected Social Security at 62. But the main focus of what we've done when we were 50 was to sell our house, get out of debt, and move to Montana because we wanted to embark on a new life. So we left that old life behind. We dissolved the business, sold the equipment, paid off debt, and we wanted to have a change in lifestyle. And so, yeah, we moved 2,500 miles across the country to do that. We were around 50-ish. We still had 2 little kids that we were raising. And we really didn't know what we were going to do. We left that life with the money we had from, equipment sales and the sale of the house. So this is what's going to lead me to what I'm going to share today. And in fact, I have even told people we picked up and threw caution to the wind. And so today I'm going to share with you a story called Reckless Abandon. It's May, and I know to bring hats, coats, and gloves to watch the kids play sports. There was a time not too long ago that this was quite new to me. In fact, every day was full of new places and experiences. With wonder, I look upon those days. We threw caution to the wind and sought out a new life. We arose early on a Wednesday morning and continued packing boxes. Today, the movers were coming and hopefully the house would sell on Friday. As Wednesday turned into Thursday, we were still packing boxes. The movers came and started loading as we continued boxing. By late afternoon, the truck was loaded. Mr. Herb's United Moving Van with 13,000 pounds of our essential possessions headed toward Montana. We headed to Shoney's Motel for the night. After more than 36 hours on our feet, we got some much-needed rest. Rising early Friday morning, we hoped the sale would proceed as planned. All of our stuff was on a truck going to Missoula, Montana. Quite fortunately, the closing went off without a hitch. Now officially homeless, we proceeded with reckless abandon. Our destination was somewhere around western Montana. In the meantime, we had to get to Missoula and find a place to store our stuff. On Wednesday, we secured 2 10-by-20 units at Expressway Mini Storage. Heading down into the Bitterroot, we camped that night at Lake Como. Breaking camp early Thursday morning, we had to get out of the mountains and back to cell service. Mr. Herb would be arriving this day and was scheduled to call for a location to unload his cargo. All went well in our things, and we were now out west. In the Grapes of Wrath, the Jodes headed for California. The Grandpa Davies headed for Montana. Both would arrive at their destination when they found it. We headed north to spend a relaxing weekend exploring the Flathead and Glacier Park. Monday morning, I called on a business to ask what they knew of local employment opportunities. I don't believe I received an answer to my inquiry, but they did offer me a job. I accepted, and 2 months later, I quit this job to do what I do best. I spent the summer pondering. The 3.5 months spent contemplating the universe remains high on my list of the best things I've ever done. Again, fall approached, and I took another job for the winter. The next 2 summers came and went, yet I remained. I know that I chose this job and remain for a reason. I just wish sometimes that I knew the reason. Some reasons have been suggested to me, such as number one, I'm lazy. Number two, it's a gravy job. Number three, I like 3-day weekends. Number four, I get to live in the last best place. While all of these are true, I prefer a 7-day weekend. I'm sure when the time is right, I'll once again proceed with reckless abandon. So that was written by Rebel Retiree, also known as Grandpa Davy, also known as my husband David. I know a lot of people are concerned about their financial futures, and we all are. We're all concerned about our financial futures. It's not like just saying, okay, we're just not going to worry about any of this at all. But basically, things do fall into place. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, and that is what I hope to share with my audience. Is we have been through high inflation. We have been through stock market crashes. We have been through various hardships. And we're all still here. And so it's basically how we make our own way, how we make our own way in this world, and what we do in our retirement. I wanted to share that with you, and I hope all of you are doing well. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.